My wife misinterprets everything that I say. My name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and I'm going to help you with this topic. This is not uncommon, and I want to start by explaining something to you that a lot of people don't get, especially in today's age where everything is about men and women being the same, except for, I don't even really understand it. When I look through my eyes, men and women are not the same. When I listen, men and women are not the same. Yes, we're the same in that we're souls, but after that, because we inhabit individual biological bodies that are gender-based, we're going to have big differences. Big differences. One of the biggest difference, many big differences, we misinterpret things that the other gender says routinely. You literally need to train yourself when you're listening to your wife to hear what she's saying and what she means over the course of time through patience and trial and error. And she has the same problem with you. She's not hearing what you're intending to say. She's hearing according to her filters, most of which are gender filters. Some are just individual filters, but even those individual filters are stemmed in their gender, in her gender. So there's this humongous disconnect, and it causes tremendous frustration. So the first thing you have to do is you have to remember why you got married. You got married in order to be happy. And when I talk about happiness in marriage, I'm not talking about boredom. When you know how to run your marriage, you're literally happier every single day than you were the day before. Literally. I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not exaggerating. Literally. And that's why you got married, for that happiness. Now there's something that comes before that happiness, and that happiness is love. Especially we men are not so connected to our hearts like women are. You ever notice how women just communicate so lovingly, touchy-feely, everything is wonderful, fine? It's because they're coming from their heart, and we men don't. We have to create a persona to interact with other men's persona. The reason we do that, by the way, everything in the Marriage Foundation is based on principles. The reason we do that is because biologically we are the warriors. We're the defenders of the home. We're the defenders of the camp. And so we have to be very careful, and it's innate in us. We're automatically careful about what we put out there because we don't want to pick up our sword. We don't want to go into chop phase. We want to get along. So women have this natural, innate ability to communicate with each other, and they seem to know what they're talking about with each other, right? So another woman could say to your wife basically what you're trying to say, and she'll be understood. It's just how the filters are. But as a husband, it's your job not to teach her how to understand you. That is not your job. That is wrong to try to do. It's your job to learn how to communicate with her lovingly in a way that allows her to understand what you're saying. Now, that's one big paintbrush, right? There's more. It could be she doesn't want to do what you tell her to do. Could be that she is, and I'm going to emphasize this, subconsciously not understanding you. Subconsciously pushing it away, perhaps because of how you communicate. Now, you could say she should learn how you communicate. That's part of her job. Well, if she were coming to me, that's exactly what I would tell her, but she's not. You're coming to me, so I'm telling you it's your job to learn how to communicate with her on both sides, as the receiver of communication and as the conveyor of ideas and feelings. This whole thing about communication is huge. It's huge. It's very important. When I was a divorce mediator long ago, I got into saving marriages, people would always tell me they didn't know how to communicate, and that was the beginning of the breakdown in their marriage. But that isn't the truth. Marriages start breaking down when individuals start taking each other for granted. The opposite of taking the other for granted is to learn about them well enough so that you can be in service to her, in your case, so that you could give her what you said you were going to give her. Love till the end of your days. That's what you promised. So your frustration is in between your understanding and that goal. You got to lose anger completely, which is unfortunately an innate trait in the male psyche. Okay, there's a lot to learn. So I've given you a lot of information. So I'm going to tell you now, when you're communicating with your wife, you got to make sure that you're communicating in a way where she understands. And by the way, having her repeat it back to you is despicable. You don't do that. You need to learn how she hears. You need to speak with her in a way, communicate with her in a way that allows her heart to be open, because you got married for her heart. Now, this is the tip of an iceberg. There's a bazillion tips, but this is your tip of the iceberg, is that you want to learn how to communicate so that you can get things done, or whatever your motivation. But the iceberg is called marital knowledge. And that's what we all lack. And it's why there's an over 50% divorce rate. And that's just the divorce rate. Beyond that, there's all the people who are unhappily married. And beyond that, there's the people who are waiting it out. And beyond that, there's those of us who understand marriage enough so that understanding that the benefits are love and happiness, we know what we need to do to have that. Now, I've written a couple of books which explain marriage really well. If your marriage is merely shaky, and if you are looking for videos on this, there's a lot more going on than just her inability to understand what you're trying to say. You should learn about marriage. If your marriage is on the verge of divorce or starting to slide in that direction, or if you're a get in front of the problem kind of guy, then get the course for men. It'll change your life. It'll change your marriage. It'll give you the happiness and the love that you wanted. And either way, definitely subscribe to this channel. because there's so much for you to learn as a freebie, where I just share information. Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave you there. I hope you like this. Give it a like. You could leave a comment. I respond to comments. And God bless you, your wife, and your family. And take care. Thank you.